Welcome to the Conscious Corner. I've been obsessed with consciousness my whole life. I don't know where it's going. I really don't know anything, but we'll figure it out together. I don't know. The world is crazy. You go through life, try and figure things out, try and understand as much as you can, and it feels like you're just going through the mechanics. Every day, different problem. Obstacles, overcoming obstacles must be a part or a definition of being alive. I guess it was the same if you go back 20,000, 30,000, 100,000 years. When we were hunter gatherers, every day was an obstacle. Finding food was an obstacle. Surviving was an obstacle. So there's something we have evolved to face challenges. And now that we have a mental space and we have a mind and we think about things and we have even the safety and security of society these days, it still feels like we're geared towards challenges. Maybe we seek them out. maybe I'm just like in the mode of looking for different obstacles and challenges, and life just keeps throwing them at you. Feels like, yes, there's up and down. Some days you're happy, some days you're not feeling great, but it's almost as if you're preparing for the next obstacle. There is that intelligence around adversary. The adversary intelligence is an actual thing when it comes to the different types of intelligence that they say you need to have. Why? Because everybody faces it. Pain is almost inevitable, and it's unfortunate to say that. But you're just delaying it until I get older. Eventually, I'm going to be in pain, and that's not a good feeling. The fact that our brains understand mortality so deeply, everybody understands it, but nobody really wants to accept it. When we think about it, our minds don't want to think about it. I don't want to think that my time is running out. Who wants to think that? But I know it's happening. Everybody knows it's happening. We have a finite supply of time in life. We have a demand of our energy and what we want to do. We've got constraints. We have to work for 2/3 of our life, maybe a third, maybe more, actually. Something you just have to do. If you're lucky enough not to have to work, it's great, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be happy. You need to put the effort in. There's something about putting energy into a system that reaps the rewards. It's a part of nature, the universe. If you put energy into something, something happens. You get something out of it. And if you put energy into what you want to do or what you're looking for in life, theoretically, you'll get there. But it's all theory. The practice of my life is very different to every single person on this earth. I don't understand how that could be. Everybody's on a unique world line. Everybody has a different psychology and a neuroscience based neurochemical interplay of the brain, which emerges into the way that we think, which is different, the way that we feel is different. Everybody has a unique blend of who they are, and it's a part of my DNA, it's a part of my nurture, and it's a lot to fathom. It's a lot to put together. It's a lot to accept and move forward with. A lot of philosophers over the year have said that the pain is worth the pleasure. Is it a zero sum game? Right? It's not net. Isn't net neutral? Am I going to be happy half of my life and then sad half of my life? Is that how it works? Is it a plus one? Can I be happy 10% more than I don't know. There's no mathematical formula for life. Although I suspect there actually is. If you want to maximize something, insert X here, or let's say V, because I believe in valuism. If I want to maximize the value of my life, that equals the sum plus or accumulation of days where I add value from day 0 till day whatever number of days I have on this earth. If I accumulate those and then deduct the ones that I don't add value and then equal something, and then have I maximized value? I don't know. I wish there was. Sometimes I think if there's a template and somebody gave me a book when I was younger and said, this is what life's about. This is one of the reasons I'm drawn to philosophy, is because people have been thinking about this. Like, the thing about me is I'm not the first person to have these thoughts. I'm not the first person to have any kind of thought. We have predecessors. We have rich history of humans since, let's say, Homo sapiens, about 150,000 years ago, who have been who had the first thought. I sometimes wonder who was the first humanoid human species, Homo species, to think? Like, what would that first thought have been or look like? And when did it happen? Did it all of a sudden someone wake up and have a thought? I find that hard to believe. Thinking is an emergent property. The mind is an emergent property. Consciousness is an emergent property. Who was the first human, let's say, when we branched off the predecessor lineage 6 to 7 million years ago, when our species first started, the human species? Did they all of a sudden become conscious? I don't think so. That from an evolutionary aspect doesn't make sense. Who had the first thought in the prefrontal cortex? That's an interesting question. It's hard to pinpoint, right? Is it when our brains got bigger? We've gone through 3 stages of our brains getting from like 900 cc to 1100 cc based on Homo habilis and Homo erectus, and now us as Homo sapiens, all the way to 1300 or 1400 cc of brain size. At what point did somebody start thinking? Why did someone start thinking? I am almost certain we started thinking to be able to think ahead in time. Time plays a very interesting role in our lives, and to be able to think about the future is such an evolutionary gift. I cannot emphasize strongly enough how much of a gift it is. What sort of animals and mammals are able to think about the future like we can? I doubt that's one part of, if anything separates us from the mammals, is that we can think pretty richly about what's going to happen tomorrow. We can think about next week. We can think about next year and the rest of our lives. The power of planning is so part of why we develop minds. It's not necessarily why we develop consciousness. Consciousness is the rich, subjective experience of life. We have that in every single moment. Every single second I'm interacting with my environment in some way. That's consciousness. But the fact that we can think about something that's going to happen, a prediction of the future, that's insanely powerful for survival, sure. How accurately we can predict, it's tough to say. I don't know if it's 5%, 10%, 60%. I think it depends. Our brains are very good at taking data points that we know or have knowns. This is philosophy of unknownism. And everything that we know, we use for the future prediction. We do that in Bayesian inference, which is basically your brain navigating the environment based on what it knows. And then we do that through conscious inferences. And that's when we put our mind to think about what's going to happen. But yeah, life to me feels strange. The explanations that we have are very deep these days with science and physics and biology and chemistry and astrophysics. I buy all those explanations. Great. It's amazing to know that we understand our environment, we understand our universe. Do we understand ourselves from a biological point of view? In some ways, absolutely. From a neuroscience point of view, definitely. Do we understand what makes us us with our consciousness, our personalities, our psychology, how that evolves? I wish I could map. One day, maybe we can. If we can upload to the computer from when I was born to now, can I trace the evolution of my thought patterns? Not just the neurochemicals. That's difficult enough to trace. Like, how did the neurochemicals fluctuate as I grew up and as I became an adult and moving into my life? But how have my thought patterns evolved? And have they evolved? That's I have to take a step back and say, have I been upgrading my thinking? I would hope the answer is yes. But it feels like maybe I'm just sidestepping. Maybe I'm making lateral moves. Maybe I'm not upgrading. Maybe I'm not moving forward. Who knows? But the question really comes down to, if I'm not the one figuring it out, nobody's going to come and tell me, hey, this is how your life's going to play out. This is what you need to do. Hence, welcome to existentialism. We have to find the meaning of our own existence. We're giving all of these tools and we're given everything society gives us, which is amazing. It's great to be alive in this day and age, especially with technology. But none of that points to having value or a great life or a pursuit of happiness. Like, we can use all these and we can have amazing lives, but figuring out what the purpose is, figuring out what the meaning is, I still struggling with. And that's one of the hardest journeys you can take.